Okay. So it's been a few weeks because you had some fun life events
Oh
happen
yeah, fun is a
and
funny way of
lots,
putting.
yeah. And we can talk about it in many ways because of where people go. And it's comical in this healthcare world. So has it been a month? A little over a month, right?
Yeah, a little over a month. Yeah, just a little bit over a month.
Yeah.
And I'm finally feeling normal.
So I'm going to kind of start where that as at, and then I'm going to ask you questions, as I saw you as my patient.
Yeah,
And things that lead into it. So you one day you've had kidney stones for a long time.
I've had kidney stone issues since I was 26, and I am 46 this year.
Yeah. Long time you've had
So
kidney stones and you've had them blasted. You had them blasted while you were pregnant with your last child.
Mhm.
You've been through a lot of it. You've sent me pictures next to a penny of these things that you have passed. Like, holy cow. And you'll feel it and you won't feel good. And it's been
I
going
know when it's
on.
coming.
You
I
know when it's
know, I
coming,
know
yeah.
I'm coming.
Well, this particular time, you were muscling through it because you do have a high pain tolerance and you're just
I
letting it
do.
pass.
Well, and I've gone to the doctor before where they're like, well, yeah, you just have to, we'll give you some pain medication. You just got to let it pass. So it's
Hmm.
like, that's all I could do. I don't want to go run to the emergency room every single time. And then, a lot of times they would think that I'm just looking for pain medication, like I'm a drug addict or something,
Yeah.
which when you're in that much pain, I'm sorry to say you do need those drugs
Uh-huh.
because it's
Yeah.
worse than childbirth, and I've had 3 kids, so I know exactly what that feels like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was trying to muscle through it just like I did every other situation. I had pain medication on standby for that reason, and I have a urologist that prescribes it to me for that reason. And I was just doing what I thought I could do, and I started getting exhausted like I usually do. Started going downhill, feeling drained, and I went and got my pain medication and started feeling a little better. But my cue is does the pain come back, right? Because it's going to stop the pain for whatever amount of time. And usually when you're in pain, it means a stone is moving. And when the pain stops, it means that I'm going to pass the stone. So I was just waiting for that to happen. And it did happen. It happened the next day. I didn't have any more pain. I didn't need any more pain medication. I was like, okay, the stone has stopped. And now I just have to wait for it to come out of my bladder like I've done before.
Hmm.
But this time I started feeling exhausted again. I started feeling
Flu-like is
like
kind of,
flu-like, like
hmm.
yeah, flu-like, like just achy, and then the fever came and I fell asleep and didn't think anything of it, and I woke up with 102 fever and I'm like, "Oh shoot. This is not what should be happening right now. My body is trying to kill something, try to fight something." So my brain went bacteria because I've had issues with this before. I didn't think it was this bad. And so, but something told me, you know what? This isn't right. I really felt sick. And I called my mom and I said, I need to go down to the emergency room just to get a CT scan to see where this stone is because I know I had a stone of some sort, I just need to know where it is. And got in the hospital. I got seen really quickly. They did a CT scan, they did blood work, and they're like, we're rolling you into surgery because you have sepsis. You have a full-blown blood infection. We don't even care about this stone.
They weren't you into surgery. They couldn't do surgery because you had sepsis.
they they rolled me into surgery to put a stent in to relieve the pressure of the
Okay.
fluid.
Okay.
That's why I went into surgery
Okay.
or whatever they call it, right? To the
Yeah.
procedure. It wasn't
Yeah.
surgery, but the procedure had to go in to put a stent in to relieve all the pressure because I was having a backup of bacteria that went into the kidney and then obviously went into the blood. So that kept me in the hospital for about 5 days. And my fever just was not going down. And my body just couldn't fight it. So actually, my body was fighting it. I actually did a lot better than most people
Hmm.
do. Actually, they were pretty surprised because they wanted me to stay in the hospital and I wanted out. I said I need out of here
You
because
felt
I
like a
need.
prisoner. You're like, I feel like I'm in prison.
I did
No sunlight, nothing to actually help
sunlight.
with pain management. Sunlight helps with pain management, helps with vitamin D production during certain parts of the day, the red light in the morning. I mean, hospitals are kind of insane.
Well, and they
I
don't let you
wish they could
sleep.
do tweak some things about it, you know?
Oh, a lot. I mean, I took pictures of all the food I ate to show that you can eat properly in the
Mm-hmm.
hospital. Have to make some basic decisions, but also too, what I find very important is having someone in the hospital with you when you're going through such a emotionally and physically exhausting time because you're not getting any sleep in there. They're constantly coming in to take blood work. They're constantly, giving you medication, asking you questions. There's different nurses, different doctors, different. I mean, it was just it's exhausting. But at the end of the day, they were trying to get me better from a blood infection, a bacterial infection. But
Mm-hmm.
yet they wanted to give me tons of sugar in the form of food and drinks, and even the medicine drinks that they wanted to give me because they said my electrolytes were low,
Uh-huh.
and they wouldn't let me drink my elements. Actually, I still drank it anyway. They said my potassium was low, and so they gave me some weird orange tablet, or that fizzled and then turned. I mean, it was orange. I mean, it literally looked like I was drinking like ink or something. And then I tasted it and it was extremely sweet, like because I don't have a lot of sugar. So when I do,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I stop and go, how much sugar is in there? So they're like, oh, I don't know, but you need it because of the potassium. I'm like, but I'm fighting a blood infection. Why would you want to give me sugar? You know what I mean? She
Yeah.
just couldn't compute. But at the end of the day in the hospitals, they're all just following orders. None
Correct.
of them
They're not
are
allowed to
allowed.
think. Mm-mm.
They're not allowed to. They're not allowed to. So I find myself having a lot of conversations with the nurses, the even the what are the gals that come in just to take the blood, the phlebotom,
Elvian? Elvian?
yeah, yeah, LVN maybe. But a lot of them were just astonished because I showed them my before and after pictures and all that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And like, but you don't have saggy skin and you don't have, like what looks like all these Ozempic people, right? That they're just they look ghostly, gauntly, and I didn't. In fact, I thought I looked, like your skin is so glowing and you're so this and you're so that. I mean, everyone on that floor looked like death. They
Mm-hmm.
just looked like death. But anyway, having someone in the hospital advocating for you is like an absolute must. And
You were advocating for yourself though. Did somebody else help advocate for you?
no, I was the only one. In fact, my whole family was extremely proud of me about the way I could communicate, the way I could
Mm-hmm.
articulate myself, the way I could talk. And I wasn't being rude to anybody. I was
Mm-hmm.
standing my ground on where I was, what I
Mm-hmm.
knew, and I was asking questions. I wasn't challenging them
Mm-hmm.
necessarily. It was, I wanted to know their theory behind whatever they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And all their answers were, well, this is what the chart says. This is what I'm supposed to do. It was no like thought. And
Yeah. Well, and
it drives
nurses,
me
they have to
crazy.
do what they're literally implementing. They're an arm of the doctor. They don't get to make a decision about it. So
No,
that's,
no. But they all did agree, because honestly, I was shocked to see that most of them were very healthy looking. Because a lot of times you see these nurses and doctors and they're overweight or they have issues, and a lot of them they don't even follow the own protocol that their industry tells them
recommend.
to do. Right? They're like,
Hmm.
oh well, I do a holistic this or I do whatever. But yeah, I find that a lot of the times they were just following orders and they were secretly telling me things, but I can't tell you this, right? I can't this. I'm like, okay, I really appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you for valuing my stance and the way I want to progress and do things because they wanted to give me syrup and pancakes
Yeah, talk
and
about so how did the ordering go? I've never had to be in the hospital and it's been a long time. My dad passed like almost 12 years ago. So that was the last time I really been in the hospital. What they give you a menu? How does it work?
so yeah, so basically they take your breakfast order your lunch and your dinner all like at once. You're just like ordering
Mhm.
this stuff. So it just comes out. And so you get choices. Um, but basically it's very limited choices. So you don't, it's limited. But at the end of the day, your breakfast is either pancakes, fruit, cottage cheese, salad with
Oatmeal? Is oatmeal on there
oh,
probably?
yeah,
The
oatmeal and
panacea
some
of
weird like
oatmeal?
yeah, and like these little like fruit squeeze things and tons of juice and orange juice soda, whatever you wanted. I mean, they offered me cake every single time too, like thick chocolate pieces of cake, which trust me, I wanted, you know what I mean? Like who
Yeah.
doesn't want a nice piece of chocolate cake? But at the end of the day, how and then I was thinking like all this food that they're giving people, the body still has to process all of that at the same time of healing them. And to me, I just felt like, shouldn't I be fasting at this time? I mean, shouldn't I be limiting that kind of stuff, like giving my body the nutrients only and letting
Hmm.
my body, heal? It just seems like all that food that my body has to process is exhausting,
Did
and takes
they
away.
did they deliver on plastic trays or metal?
Oh yeah, everything was plastic. Everything was, throw away, except for the hot plate itself. But it still was like yeah, it's all thick
Yeah.
plastic, and then you got
Yeah.
some like
Heat on
heating,
plastic is really a good
heating.
thing.
Yeah, it was like this heat plate under or on top of the plastic, and then your
Hmm.
food, and then a big old plastic dome, thick thing that kept all the heat inside. So a
Yeah.
little microwave. Yeah, you could smell it. It was not very tasty. At some point, I stopped eating. I wasn't hungry anymore because I wasn't utilizing any of
Energy.
my body didn't get the energy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't. I was laying in bed, withering away essentially. But I had the IV constantly on, so I could feel my body just swelling up, just getting. It was just too much. I just feel like they were pumping too much in me.
Hmm.
I
I
mean,
don't,
because I can see the
needles,
veins on my.
the thought of an IV and needles just, that's just
Oh,
me.
and
I'm not like others. I'm a little more.
I have pictures of the bruising on my arms for all of the times they had to take blood and get the blood cultures. And then, of course, nurses are better than others. And so after 4 attempts on one arm, oh, let's just do the other arm. I'm like,
Nope. Let me die of the infection. I do not like needles. You can't fight it the
no,
first time. We're done. We are done.
I get it. They're trying to save my life. I did have a pretty
Hmm.
serious issue. At the end of the day, it's all about just, survival. And I get that. But it just seems like there's a lot of that stuff was counterintuitive to what we're trying to do.
Hmm.
And I'm glad I had the wits of me because I probably would have been in there another 2 weeks had I eaten what they wanted to give me and had I followed all their
Can you
directions and protocol.
imagine?
And
Yeah.
there are people who end up in ICU because of sepsis, because their bodies can't fight it off.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was really healthy. I didn't have any other issues. I wasn't diabetic. My liver issues were great. All my
Mhm.
blood work is healthy. Thanks to you, obviously, because if that was a few years ago, I don't know how my body would have handled that. I was
And what feeds the
pre-diabetic.
bacteria? Sugar.
Sugar. That's what I kept asking them.
Yeah.
Not to like, hey, you don't know what you're
Yeah.
doing. Like, make them think, and they're like, yeah, well, yeah, that does make sense. But this is what we have to do, and these are your choices. And so I just had my hamburger patties, my cheese, my cottage cheese, my sour cream. I
Hmm.
had had my family bring my protein smoothies. I had my element salts that I was drinking, um, and I was able to do it. I got it. But at some point, I'm like, gosh, I need sunlight. I need fresh air. Like this hospital is depressing now. Like I was getting depressed. I was getting sick from a whole nother thing,
Hmm.
uh,
People don't
and
realize
fear.
how much light plays a role in your health. We are timed with the sun, our circadian rhythms, our hormonal release, our DNA responds to the lights,
Yeah. And
your immune system. I mean, all of it.
I
I,
got out looking like a ghost. I felt like a vampire. I was like, the
yeah.
sunlight. I just, but I wanted it. It felt so good on my skin.
Hmm.
And then after 10 minutes, I'm like, ooh, I forgot that I was on antibiotics for the
Yep.
past, 5 days. And I was on
Yes.
a pretty strong 24-hour injected every single morning, not to mention blood thinners.
Ugh,
So
more needles. Hmm. Yeah.
oh yeah. And I had a marbled size
Okay.
knot in my arm
Mm-hmm.
for a good probably 2 weeks that was still
Hmm.
there. So I'm like, my body went through the ringer.
Well, I remember you texted me, do I need to take these antibiotics? And I was like, first off, that's not my scope. But second of all, you just had sepsis that could have killed you. Do what they
Yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah. Well, I did, and so I just the thought of taking antibiotics too, because I know what it does to you, just it
Yeah.
irked me. I'm like,
Yeah.
now I'm like killing all. Now I got to wait for because it takes a while for your microbiome and all that stuff to like
Did
populate
you
again.
find out how big that kidney stone was at all?
So it was 7 millimeters.
Okay.
And then I had another one, and then that was 6 that they blasted because so after I got out of the hospital for a week, and I had a stent. They didn't remove the stone, so I left the same way I came, basically,
The,
just no sepsis now. And I had a stent in that was, taped to my inner thigh labia area, and then I had the um had to go the following week to go back to have the procedure so they could go in, remove that stent, blast the stone. And during that time, they said they blasted a couple other ones in there. And then that's when that stent was left in me. And I had to pull that out on my own at home. And of course, I took pain medications to do that because that is not fun.
No, no, I'm having a
But
tough time listening to it.
but you know what? Once you had three children, like
True.
this stuff is just you
Yeah.
just it's nothing. It really isn't. So
Yeah.
I was fine with it. I wanted everything out of my body. I wanted to feel normal. I wanted to get
Mhm.
back, but it's taking me a lot longer than I
Do you
thought to get my energy
feel,
levels back up.
how do you feel right now? Do you feel like you're back to normal or?
I don't feel like I'm completely back up to normal. I'm still tired very easily. I
Okay.
I can only do so much. I can go through my regular day, but I'm a massage therapist, so after my shifts, before I could go out, I could go do a bunch of other things. Now
Mm-hmm.
I come home, I'm exhausted and I just want to sleep. I just
Mm-hmm.
want to sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep. I
Mm-hmm.
tried working out like a dork, maybe 2.5 weeks after. Went to the gym thinking that I could go and work out, and I put some weight on the machine and found myself flailing people and screaming
Uh-huh.
for help.
Hi, just a quick ask here. If you were enjoying any of this content, we would love a like, a subscribe, a comment. We just want to get this information out to the masses, and that's it. Back to the conversation.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened either.
Okay.
Yeah, so just to be clear, that was not doctor's advice either from them or myself to go work out.
No,
That's it.
no.
You sprain an ankle and the first thing you want to do is go run. And even if you're not a runner, you just got to prove that you can do this stuff. And so,
Yes, that's
yes.
that's kind of what it was. It was like, all right, I want to get back. It was almost like a mental thing too. Like I
Hmm.
wanted to tell myself you're good because I'm really into that. I feel good. I feel good. I feel good. I
Hmm.
feel good. I'm strong. I'm strong. I'm strong.
Yes.
All that kind of stuff. I got this. I got this. And it was my first day back to work too. So what was interesting is the embarrassment and hit to my nervous system screwed me up more than anything.
Wait, embarrassment of lifting or of kidney stone? Which part?
Embarrassment of just the adrenaline of being scared. I thought I was dying. Like I was on that machine and I
Okay, so
couldn't.
while lifting, this
So
is when you're
while
in the
lifting
gym, you lifted
in the
something,
gym,
you
while I
failed.
was able to, I failed and I tried to get out of that. And
Uh-huh.
the panic that set in, and then I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. Like, and I was looking around and I was trying to be discreet about it to like, can you
Because you
see
were
me?
on
Can
a
you look?
you were on a glute ham hip thruster
I was on
machine.
the hip thrust machine
Hmm.
with
Hmm.
about freaking 500 pounds on there. And I had usually put two 45s on each side.
Hmm. Hmm.
And this time I put three 45s on each side. I don't know why. I don't know why
So that's 90, 90, 90. What is that? 90, 270.
270.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like 500 pounds. Like I was just, so I'm just like, I thought about it. I thought, what if I would have just dropped it? I probably would have just been okay, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the
Well, and
day,
they have a
someone helped.
safety thing, right? So you should be able to
I couldn't get it
mm,
on. I couldn't lift it up just to get it to there.
yeah.
And so the panic and the embarrassment and the adrenaline rush,
Uh-huh.
I hauled my ass out of there so fast. My legs were shaking. My hands were shaking.
Uh,
I'm like, I'm never going back to, I have not been back to
you
the
shouldn't. You're too tired. Give yourself some time.
Yeah,
Walking
I know.
outside is good. Early morning red light therapy from the sun is what you should be doing.
And so that's what I'm doing. I literally did that this morning too, and it felt so good. I just woke up,
Hmm.
got on my patio, got to that little corner where there's sun at that point, and I just sat
Yeah.
there and
Yeah.
it felt so good. So I do
Yeah.
want to get back to my walks. I'll slowly get my energy levels back up, but
Yeah. Even a
I
10-minute
just feel
walk, you know?
I also feel like so when I was in the hospital, I lost weight for sure. I came out like I feel like I lost like a good like 10 pounds. And then so right now I'm feeling really flabby. I'm
Mm.
feeling really so I missed that, strong muscular feeling that I had. And so but I have been having a lot more fat. I've been having a lot more of those protein shakes and probably maybe a little too much.
It's interesting about that thought process because there's a group of people that are like, push harder, go do it. It's just a thought process, believe what your mind says. And then there's another where it's like, take it easy, listen to your body, slowly get back into it. It's interesting. So in our group, everyone's going to be at a different spot when
Yeah.
they join. Some people need to ease up, some people need to push more, and that's part of trying to identify that as a human where you're at
Well, I'm
and
taking that now.
trusting the process of it too.
I'm taking more of that initiative now. I'm allowing myself to just be because my life has been so chaotic
Yeah.
and
So
so
let's jump back to why the kidney stones now. I mean, you've had them. You went carnivore, keto carnivore, and you've had less kidney stones, but you've been able to pass them more and whatnot. And so you have people around you, right? You get this kidney stone in the hospital. That's all they hear, and they're like, "What?
diet. Do your
Diet."
diet. Even my urologist was telling me before when I first started seeing her, she's like, well, high, uric acid and high meat and this and that, da da da. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I've had this issue way before I started carnivore. I have way
Mhm.
less now. In fact, you have my records. You can see that I'm not producing any more stones. I'm just eliminating them now. And she agreed with me on that point because
Yeah.
I get
And your
ultrasounds.
uric acid is not high.
No, it
None of it
wasn't.
makes
That
sense.
wasn't. And I brought that up. I said, I go, you saw my blood work. It's not high. All my numbers are normal. The only thing that was high, which is what we're still trying to figure out, is my
Yep.
calcium.
Yeah.
Why I have, which they already checked my parathyroid, which
Hmm.
we've kind of had a theory of talk of,
Hmm.
stress and cortisol and all that kind of
Yep.
stuff playing a part in it. So yeah,
So,
everyone's saying your diet is the one
well,
that's
and
causing.
it's funny, people go to the hospital all the time. Oh, they're sick with cancer. They have this. Nobody goes to diet. If you are eating like the average person, all the crap, nobody says
Which I was.
anything. The
Nope.
minute you have changed your life, you're doing well. Oh, yep, it was that. It's like,
So
what?
before I did carnivore, keto carnivore, it was, oh, because I was just a regular eater like everyone else,
Hmm.
standard American
Hmm.
diet, right? And overweight. It was, oh, you're just one of those. You're just a kidney producer. And I
Kidney
think back to
stone.
that.
Yeah.
I'm just a kidney stone producer. Why? Like no one asks why,
Yeah.
and that's where I'm at now. That's where I'm like trying to
So
peel
where
back.
I would go, because I don't have any hard answers, this is where I allow more of the, it's not esoteric medicine, but there's a thing called New German medicine, for example, and they talk about why different parts of the body show the signs of whatever it is, and they'll relate it back to your childhood or whatever it may be. I don't even know on this
Oh,
one.
okay.
But I'd be curious about those emotional limbic pathways. I wouldn't be shocked that there's got to be some sort of origin
I've
for it.
heard that.
But back to your urologist, they're always concerned that meat's acidic and it's going to create these stones, which is comical because your stomach is acidic.
Yeah.
And the whole point is that you need that to break down the food. Your skin's not acidic, your urine's not as acidic as your stomach. All of these things, we have different pHs everywhere. And there's no way a diet, like the actual food, is going to create acidity in your kidney. The only way that can happen is if you have like spikes of insulin. Maybe you're not eating an appropriate diet. Your insulin's going up and it's creating stress, inflammation, and acidity in your blood. Meat does not do that. Fat does not do that.
Mhm.
Seed oils might. They're inflammatory, that omega 6, too much of it. So it's funny. So the only other thing I would relate to being acidic is stress. And you had some stress. Like
Yeah.
you have your baseline of stress is up here compared to most people down here. And then you
Yeah.
had a bump up of it. And that will spike, that will affect those kidneys and the kidney stones.
They don't acknowledge any of that.
Correct.
They don't acknowledge any of that. It's because they can't quantify it. They can't test it. They can't,
Correct.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's why it's hard, and everyone's so worried about not being sued, but just saying things accurately, being
Mhm.
afraid to say something so they can't ever attest to that. It's just, let's check your blood work. Let's look at your this. It's
And
sad.
there comes a point of wisdom of observing people. So there's no test for wisdom and observation. Even some of
Yep.
these tests can prove things that are not actually true. So what they find in a lab does not equate to the person you're treating in front of you. So it's not that I'm saying anything inaccurate. I'm not just going off of blood work. There's clearly a reason, and they have not found one. And so this is where I get more open to, other things going on. And you have had stress your entire life. You It's how it's always been.
Yeah,
So it
yeah,
makes
I
sense that
have.
your kidneys are stressed out.
Hmm. And to the whole emotional thing, I have heard, the kidneys do hold anger and, a certain emotional stuff that isn't. So I have all that. This
Hmm.
it's about, like you said, listening to your body, knowing when to be calm, take it easy,
Hmm.
break, say no, not
Chinese
be
medicine,
people.
acupuncture, I'm totally not even giving that credit too, because
Yeah,
that could
yeah,
be, I'd be
yeah.
curious what they would find on you for that to help.
I I absolutely 100% believe in all that stuff. So, but again, it's not measurable. It's different for everybody, so it's
They
hard
have
for.
different, the way they measure is different. Like they're using their points, their tongue, their pulse, they're looking at things differently, which are still
Yes,
physiological. They're still physiological things. So when you
yeah.
push on a certain area, I'm specifically lighting up a very specific part of my brain and everything in between. This is why
Mhm.
I think acupuncture is more neurological than anything. They call it chi.
Yeah.
I still think
I,
it's more neurologically related.
well, that makes sense.
So
I mean, to the
anyway,
brain nerves. But
but
yeah, so
in short, your diet
everyone
is
has,
not creating this. Now, that being said, before you went on carnivore and keto and whatnot, you were eating a lot of plants and not as much meat because you were told that they're a lifesaver, right? This panacea of
a
plants.
ton. I almost eliminated meat completely, and I had just little bits here and there. And I was doing tons of the spinach, kale smoothies, blueberries,
Yeah.
flaxseed, peanut
I've done all
butter,
that.
banana.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mixed it. I mixed everything in that Ninja blender.
So what can
And
happen is you have these oxalates from those foods. Every plant has an anti-nutrient. The only way a plant defends itself is chemically, or if it had thorns, but it can't run from its prey.
yeah,
So it responds chemically. So oxalates, for example, we can't break down. Sally Norton is the person I would go to on all of this stuff. And I can't remember the
I was just
person
gonna
before
say,
her that studied all of it. They were doing urinalysis, 24 urinalysis to catch because women are having vulvar pain and finding out that it's related to these oxalates. And doctors were missing it because they weren't testing the right amount of urine, when, and because it's on a cycle of when you can dump some of it. So when you go carnivore or
mm,
keto, or you're not really eating those plant anti-nutrients, your body starts to kind of calm down and it will release it from places that it has it shoved, like the bone or the kidney or this or that, the other thing. And this is where these kidney stones come about. And
yeah,
there you go, oxalate dumping. I have other people who will oxalate dump with rashes, crusty eyes, um, I don't know, different aches and pains, but
I
kidney stones
still
is one of
feel like
them.
that red rash that I had on my face was a little bit
Yeah,
of that. I really do. I do think
yeah.
that, and it's gone away. I don't have any makeup on right now, and it's completely gone.
Okay.
But
And with
it
that,
was just,
Sally talks about going slow, and people can dump even years after. Maybe I have an oxalate dump coming, I don't know. But
yeah,
um, she recommends eating some low oxalate foods just to kind of slow that dump with it. And she has a great book. You can, and look online to find out what supplementing out black pepper for white pepper. I mean, there's different things that have these oxalates in them. I'm just going to
yeah.
hold
You had
for
mentioned
one
that
second.
before.
Hold. All right. So back to the kidney stone. Yeah,
So
oxalate
yeah, a
dumping.
lot of people were basically asking me, or trying to allude to the fact that, maybe my diet was the one that was causing all this stuff, and
I say physiologically
I
explain to me how that would work. That's always my thing. How would that work physiologically? It makes no sense.
it's
Me.
not, they don't know what they're talking about. They just listen to what a doctor said or what
Mhm.
the world
And
is
again,
saying about.
anybody who is just repeating what somebody says, I say, explain it to me. And they're like, well, I don't know. I'm like, right. So it doesn't mean that I'm wrong. And it doesn't mean that you're right if you can't explain it. So if I can explain it, give me a better argument. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, I still find it fascinating that the nephrologist that I went to go see wanted to put me on
Mhm.
blood pressure medication to help with the kidney stones, because what people don't know about blood pressure medication is that it binds to all the minerals, it pulls it out of the blood. So therefore, but it didn't make any sense to me either. I don't know. It's just the
Right.
medical industry
So
needs
I want to
to
get
be
rid of my
overhauled.
minerals. Yeah.
Like, I don't have like, and then he's so funny. He goes, "Do you have high blood pressure?" Like, you're my doctor. Don't you check me when I come in? Like, you have my history. Like, no, I don't. But I can't believe I have to tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Which is why I don't go see those doctors anymore. I go see you.
Yeah.
Obviously for the major stuff, like
Yeah. If
intervention, I
I'm
have
like,
to.
you
But
need to go somewhere, then you go somewhere else. But most of the stuff that I deal with. Um, I was
yeah.
talking to a fellow chiropractor, and he was like, "Yeah, for my colonoscopy, they told me not to eat cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, 2 weeks before the colonoscopy because it causes bleeding in the colon."
Oh, I wonder why. Because it scrapes the shit out. Sorry, scrapes a lot of the
So,
intestinal wall
so I should eat it. I should only not eat it because I'm getting a
after.
procedure, not because it actually causes that and we just leave it doing that.
Wow.
Why would we recommend that people eat these foods? It doesn't make sense, let alone that
Why
those
would
are
they recommend?
what?
Why are doctors recommending vegetables
Yeah,
at all?
Seventh Day Adventists. Honestly, there's a whole history of how dietetics came up from Harvey Kellogg. There's a
Mm.
whole trackable.
Oh yeah,
None of it's
yeah,
done by
yeah. Oh,
studies.
that's
It's
right.
all done by
That's
belief systems. So,
But the information's out there. We know this stuff now. I don't get it.
yeah.
I don't know why that still still pushing. But I mean that Instagram post that you sent me about that gal talking about, the okay, so maybe there are some essential stuff that plants have that like the vitamin C thing, but your body doesn't go, oh, I'm eating this vegetable, I'm gonna get vitamin C. It's
Mhm.
like I have to handle this poison first before I even do anything else. And that's the
Well, the
problem
vitamin
is you're not
C,
body
it correlates with the poison to help you with the poison. So just don't eat it. You have enough vitamin
but don't
C
eat it.
in your meat. You don't,
Yeah.
if you're
Yep.
not eating carbs and all this stuff, it's not required. It's not, yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And I've gone deep with people on, getting back to the root of why they're not eating meat. And it comes down to animal cruelty and they don't want to, I'm like, do you realize all the animals that are being killed through your vegetables and your
Yes.
garden and like
And they're just
tons.
tilled up. They're not sacrificed in a humane way and for your health.
No, and those are the cute little ones too,
Yeah.
not like it's
And
like,
where's the
I don't
line?
know.
Where's
It's
the
just,
line of humane, not humane? Okay, so lions in the zoo, do we not feed them meat? We put them on a vegetarian diet because we don't want to kill those
yeah,
animals.
yeah, they got to eat. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's emotional, whatever. But anyway, yes.
So in short,
The
you're welcome back to life.
Thank you. I know.
Um, this is where high pain tolerance is not necessarily a benefit.
Yeah.
You might
Yeah, no,
miss
that's true.
something. And
I'm
yeah,
scared now. I don't ever want to feel that again. Like now I'm not, I don't ever want to let that happen again. So,
yeah. Well, you didn't
I will definitely go.
mean for that to happen. Yeah.
No, and it's happened so many other times before that I've gotten through. It was no big deal. But I think this time I'll just immediately call my urologist, go down there, have them, give me a quick ultrasound in the office or something to kind of see, and then they're like, okay, you got to go, whatever.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd go seek help before just handling it on my own. But I just don't have faith in our medical, industry. I really don't. I don't. So part
Mhm.
of that is that reason. So this is why I'm doing this with you. I want to make a change. I want to educate people. I want them to understand. And
And for
unfortunately,
you, we're working on your
I still have to learn.
potassium to help with the kidney stones.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I mean, I'm trying to do everything I can to figure out, how to combat it. And
So she agreed that
I'm
those stones were not new stones. They were in there from prior and they're just breaking loose now.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I
Yeah.
have a history of getting my, just like I was doing with you every 3 months when I first met you, just to kind of check
Mhm.
my blood and see where it was going. I was getting the ultrasounds regularly to see, and nothing had changed. I wasn't producing anymore. They were just moving. They were just dislodging.
I'm
And
gonna have to stop this because my battery is dying.
okay, yeah, it's okay. I'm gonna be needing to
I
get
will,
out of here for work here.
okay. I will see you later
Sounds
next
good.
week.
All right, Julie. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye.